Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Wulfric yields to no one, even if that means he is up against the Warriors of Chaos. And he has taken to the Chaos Waste to prove once and for all who is stronger. So we have Janthus on the Warriors of Chaos, and I will be leading my Norscan horde. So for my army, I have brought a bunch of Horse Masters for our Vanguarded troops, and they will be supported by the Maws of Savagery. So they do have Vanguard themselves. They do have armor piercing anti-large. So that's very nice little support tool that they can have, and have their heavy armor can even contend with other skirmish cav that Chaos can bring. For the rest of the army, it is going to be Marauders for that front line, including the Icehorn Marauders, who do have perfect vigor and immune to psychology. Very helpful if you're going to be dragging out a battle very, very long, and the immune to psychology is always nice. We also have triple Marauder Berserkers for a little damage dealing to deal with the Chaos Marauders themselves, and we have Wulfric the Wanderer up on his Mammoth, going to be bringing Seafang and Hunter of Champions. We also do have a Shaman Sorcerer of Metal, who's going to be bringing Final Transmutation and Plague of Rust. So that is going to be it for the Norscan forces. Now for Chaos, they themselves have brought some skirmish cav, not quite to the tier of the Horse Masters, but they do have a pair of horsemen and one Marauder horseman with throwing axes. For their front line, they do have Chaos Marauders mixed in with some Chaos Warriors as well. 3 Warriors, a couple Marauders, and they are going to be backed though by some monstrous infantry with some Chaos Spawn and Weird Spawn, both of which are unbreakable monstrous units. They only do have 10 armor, but the Weird Spawn does have 15% physical resist on top of armor sundering, so that'll be very helpful if they are going to try and deal with Wulfric, get a little armor sundering, and even these Marauder Horsemen are going to be able to do some damage to them. They will be led, of course, by Kolek Sun Eater, the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. He's going to be bringing Stand or Die, as well as the Lord of the Storm, which is a little bombardment spell. He isn't going to be bringing any of his other abilities though, but he does have Fear and Terror, which is always a nice thing to have, especially against forces that don't really have a whole lot of ITP. We also have a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire, going to be bringing Fireball, Burning Head, as well as the Flaming Sword of Ruin and the Forbidden Rod, which does a little damage to himself, but for a little bit extra magic can be very, very helpful. They also do have some Chaos Knights and some Chaos Warhounds roaming the field to kind of assist in that skirmish potential here. But right now, the initial edge is going to be to Norsca as the skirmish does kick off. So right now it's just going to be a little bit of skirmish back and forth as the Marauder Horsemen are going to slowly back away from the approaching Chaos forces. Now the Chaos, they do have some very decent armored troops with these Chaos Warriors. They do have silver shields and 100 armor, so these Horse Masters don't want to be really wasting any of their shots into them, though there will be a nice little charge by the Maws of Savagery as they do pull out very quickly before the Weird Spawn do get a chance to pounce on top of them. Maybe one model does get a little hung up in the mix, but the rest are able to pull out, and they'll be firing away into these Chaos Warhounds with poison. They will be taking quite a bit of damage there as the Maws of Savagery, their banner is way back here, but their unit kind of does jump on top of this unit here, and it does cause them to rout. They should be back though. They're not too depleted in HP, and they have quite a few models left, but getting them out of the way, at least for the time being, is going to be very helpful for the Norscans here, as the rest of the Chaos skirmishers do kind of push forward against these 2 Horse Masters, while the rest of the Chaos forces slowly advance to the Norscans, but the Norscans going to be slowly backing away as they do have the advantage in that skirmish with all of those Horse Masters, and Maws of Savagery should be able to do quite well. But seeing as the rest of the horsemen are all occupied, these Chaos Knights are going to be looking to line up a nice free charge into these Marauders here, and they do have some very nice units because they have a 44 charge bonus, but that is not all, as they're going to be able to get a nice charge into these units that don't have any charge defense. Wulfric, seeing that happen a little too late, is going to be a little slow to respond and try and charge in, but the rest of the Marauders are going to be able to break down at least one of the Marauders, and now their focus is going to be solely on these horsemen. And Wulfric will get a decent little charge in, maybe peeling off a model or 2 from those Chaos Knights, but at the cost of one of the unit of Marauders, as they do end up routing. These Marauder Berserkers now are going to have to hold that front line as the rest of Chaos does kind of approach, And seeing how the engagements has already been underway, the rest of the Norskins are going to engage the Chaos Horde here. And Kolek, though, going to be hot on the tail for Wulfric, and Wulfric doesn't really want to be engaged here, as he's going to take quite a bit of damage from Kolek, who is a very good anti-large character. And Wulfric's a little hung up right now, too, not able to be running and just taking free damage right now from Kolek. Definitely not what he wants to be doing, as some units are going to try and screen out Kolek, but he has a ton of mass, not going to be so easy to keep him down. We do have a final transmutation going to be dropping down, hitting these Chaos Warriors as well as those weird spawn, that they will be able to push forward, so they won't be taking quite that much damage, though a nice little boat here goes right on through some of these Chaos Warriors. And a Hunter of Champions is actually down onto Kolek, just trying to slow him down and allowing Wulfric the Wanderer to get a little bit of a breathing space, as he's going to get a little bit of a rear charge into these Chaos Knights that are hung up by these Maws of Savagery, so doing a lot of damage there. Those Chaos Knights just melting under the assault from Wulfric, and the rest of the force is going to be slowly kiting away. Marauder Horsemaster is quite a ways off, though, dealing with some of these Chaos Warhounds, and a Burning Head's going to be going right on through these Marauder Berserkers, doing a ton of damage. Luckily, the Marauder Champions going to be holding out a little bit longer here, as they do have a little bit better armor, but still they are going to be wavering right now, and Wulfric is on the run, trying to stay away from Kolek for as long as he can, as he does get a nice charge through the lines of his own Marauders into these Chaos Warriors, trying to break their backs and leaving just the Weird Spawn, as Weird Spawn have been kind of depleted themselves, as we are going to be getting a little piercing bolts here, going to be dropping, or actually this is going to be Kolek's ability, going to be dropping a little bombardment down into the middle of all those Marauders, doing some good damage, and the rest of these Marauder Horsemasters going to be trying to peel off these Chaos Knights, get these Maws of Savagery nice and free so they can kind of return to the field, heal up a bit, and help with Kolek, as they are definitely going to be needed, especially with Wulfric taking as much damage as he is. And these Chaos Warriors going to be able to get into the sides of these Marauder Horsemasters. They get a little lapse in micro here, as they will try and pull out very soon, but they have been doing quite a bit of damage to these Marauder Horsemen from the Chaos side, and the Chaos Sorcerer is getting rather low himself, though he has used quite a bit of his magic so far. It has a very nice Burning Head, but really trying to deal with all the leadership for Chaos is going to be what Norsca needs to do, considering how low Wulfric is and how healthy Kolek is. And we look like to get another Burning Head coming right through the line of these Marauders, doing a ton of damage, and that is likely going to break all three of those units, and away goes 1, 2, and 3, and down they shall fall. So now it is just down to the mobility, and we do have a small pocket of Marauders here, as the rest are going to have to try and stay healthy, as the Shaman Sorcerer getting beat down, as he is only on foot, so that is going to be very hard for him to outpace Kolek here, as Kolek is just wailing on that Shaman Sorcerer. That is not where he wants to be. It is definitely thinking of colder climates right now, as Wulfric, though, seeing that Kolek is occupied, is going to get a little nice free charge into these Chaos Warriors and Weird Spawn, trying to deal as much damage to them as these Marauders do peel off, as they do try and at least eliminate all of the support that Kolek does have on the field. The rest of the mobility has pretty much been dealt with. We do have that Shaman Sorcerer has returned, though these Horsemasters should be able to turn and attack him and make sure that he does get off the field once and for all. But we do have the Shaman Sorcerer has returned. Battle power still dead even, but Kolek is going to be quite the hard target to deal with at this point, especially with the very low ammo of all of these Marauder Horsemasters, as we do get another bombardment from Kolek against them, doing a little bit extra damage. And there isn't, the loss of ammunition is going to be very critical, because they're so hard to deal with Kolek at this point. I'll kind of do a little spin out. Looks like that Sorcerer has been dealt with from Chaos, and the Maws of Savagery are joining in the fight as well, but they are getting very, very low. They are at 4, and they will rout once again. They may come back, but at this point they are so very, very low, and Wulfric trying to deal with things. We still have 4 of the Weird Spawn left by the looks of things, so they will be continually sundering the armor of Wulfric and doing quite a bit of damage themselves, as they have quite a bit of weapon damage. We do have some support of these Chaos Warriors, though the Horsemen going to try and engage them, keep them away from Kolek, as Kolek is getting kind of low himself, but Wulfric is even lower, taking another hit, staggering him, and can the Kolek finish him off. But Wulfric is going to pull out, even though he is going to be routing right now, and Kolek going to try and give chase to get a final killing blow off onto Wulfric the Wanderer, though he does abandon the pursuit, as he does charge back into melee to kind of free up the rest of his Chaos Warriors. who are slowly getting whittled down by these Marauder champions with great weapons. And these Horsemasters are really all that's left for Norsca here. Even though they are ahead in the balance power, we do have a juicy final transmutation hitting all of the units that are left for Chaos, and that is likely going to break the backs of all of the Chaos Warriors that are left, routing both of them and leaving just Kolek left at this point. And Wulfric does return to the field, though he is going to have to be dealing with Kolek, who is a very strong anti-large character, and he's only like one hit away from death. He does have 435, so that is well within the realm of a final smack from Kolek, though a lot of that balance of power is from a full health Shaman Sorcerer, because these Marauder Horsemasters without their ammunition are going to struggle quite a bit to deal with Kolek, as both of these units do terror rout away. It is not a natural rout, but so they will be back. The rest of the mobility is off chasing these Chaos Warriors, making sure they do not come back. We do also have these Maws of Savagery, and as you can see, they are slowly healing up. They do have 4 models left, so the longer that Norsca can last, the better they will do against Kolek. At this point, I don't know if Norsca can effectively kill Kolek with how much HP he has left, because you can see he has 1800, and these Horsemasters aren't going to be able to do a whole lot of damage. There might be enough for a Plague of Rust that might be able to assist in that regard, as Wulfric does kind of wander his way back. He is very low. He's wavering right now. If you take a look at his leadership, it is only at 4. He doesn't even want to get close to Kolek at this point. He just gets close enough to use Hunter of Champions to reduce the armor and melee defense of Kolek Sun Eater, and that is going to allow these Marauder Horsemen to do the damage that they need to, and now Kolek is going to start wavering, and he does rout. So in the end, Norsca is able to pull through and able to bring down the Shaggoth. So take a look at the after battle report. Kolek Sun Eater getting 3,300, quite the world beater indeed, doing a ton of damage to Wulfric in that match. And this is kind of one of the reasons why Chaos is favored against Norsca, because Chaos's big monsters are all anti-large, while Norsca's big monsters, the mammoths, are all anti-infantry. So that means that the Chaos monsters beat down Norsca's. So Norsca's anti-large tools are really the Horsemasters. You can bring javelins as well to deal with things, and you do have the Skinwolves, though still the Shaggoths trade quite well into those Skinwolves, as you were able to see. They did do decently good work, but not quite as enough as you might want. A couple of nice burning heads from that Shaman, that Chaos Sorcerer, and for the rest of the forces, we do see that the Chaos Knights did fairly decent work. The Warhounds did not, and even the Marauder Horsemen did fairly decent, especially considering how outclassed they were by the Horsemasters. But really the heavy hitters as well were these Weird Spawn, racking up 1800 in value with that armor sundering and just the being unbreakable in general, was able to really pull through and do some good work. While on the Norsca side, the MVPs were the Horsemasters, all of them paying for themselves and then some, with a couple units getting 1400 and another close to 1400 as well, doing very good work between those two units. And even the Marauder Champions not paying for themselves, but still doing some very decent work, while the rest of the units, this Marauder Berserker even getting 1600 in value, definitely paying for himself, while the rest of the forces maybe not quite as well, but a very nice final transmutation at the end. Not a whole lot of value on that Shaman Sorcerer, though he is very cheap. I think he's around about 500 with only 2 of his spells on him, and the Plague of Rust as well was able to help kind of bring down that armor of Kolek and really whittle him down bit by bit. And in the end, Norsca was able to drag Chaos down, and Wulfric the Wanderer will defeat one more challenger. So that is going to be all I have for you today. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good one.